Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Look Forward. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Brad.
You know, I thought that during our couple weeks off that, we'd be able to kind of ease back into things. Cause, while we were gone, it was kind of like a garden variety level of fuckery that you kind of expect
Of course.
from this administration. Like nothing that was too crazy. And then we just decided to have like literally the worst week in American history, pretty much. So, recent American history. Sorry,
disagree.
not the worst ever.
Yeah, disagree. No. I think it's horrible. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's the worst 2 weeks. I don't think it's just
Wait, when did the Venezuela thing happen? My time lapse is completely shot to hell.
Yeah, that was last week, and now we're shooting American citizens and killing them at point blank.
Cool.
Right? Yeah. So the first show back in 2026. Fights on. Listen, this already. This is a hell of a start to the new year. I'm to paraphrase. I was listening to Posse of America. To paraphrase Jon Favreau, I'm going to try to get through this episode without yelling and screaming and crying. I'm going to do the best I can. Look, obviously there's the ICE killing this woman in Minneapolis, which was, horrendous. There's the Nicolas Maduro shit in Venezuela, which we'll get to because that happened after we took our break. And there's a whole host of things. But I think fundamentally, there is one thing that we all need to recognize, which is that Donald Trump is very, or at least it feels obvious to me. That's what I should say. I'm not going to say it feels obvious to everyone, but it feels obvious to me, which is I think that Donald Trump knows that he's dying. And I think Donald Trump is totally fine with ramping things up as extreme as he can before he kicks off. To me, there feels like a time clock just kind of running. And he's like, I got to do as many things as I've always wanted to do right now. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like, especially on the international stage. And I think he wants to put his stamp on the world before he fucking punches the clock. I'm not going to pretend that I want him to stick around. I don't. And it's getting worse every day. He announced the American version of the Arc de Triomphe, which I assume will be Arc de Trump or whatever such nonsense in DC. The architect for his ballroom is now saying that he wants to demolish the West Wing as well. That came out today. I don't know if you saw that. Them wanting to expand their so-called war on drugs into Mexico. And into potentially Colombia and obviously into Cuba. And then all the stuff with Greenland. It feels like there is a reason he is ramping up. I don't know if that is obvious to people working for him, but it feels very obvious to me watching him. And what
I don't necessarily, I agree with you. I just don't agree with the reason. I don't think it's because he is dying. Hopefully we can all pray for that to happen if you believe in such things. But I don't necessarily think it's because he's dying. I think it's because he knows that he basically has a year to quote unquote get away with this shit, because he's not stupid enough to realize that they're going to go down in flames during the midterms. And then once you have an actually functioning Congress who cares about doing their actual job, maybe, that it becomes a lot harder, or there's a lot more chance for some level of accountability towards the thing that he's doing. So it's a combination of ramping things up, knowing that you're on a ticking clock because of the midterms, also ramping things up. I firmly believe as well, and we'll talk about it, that they're also ramping things up in the hopes that because of how insane they're being and because of the insane actions that they're taking, they're trying to provoke the other side, whether that other side is liberals or whether that other side is the EU, or what have you, into doing something stupid not stupid per se, but doing something that would right, retaliatory, that would escalate things one way or the other, so that would give them a predicate to start really turning up the dial to do things that he keeps just, floating out here or there, like, what if we have to cancel an election, or this or the other thing, or that kind of thing. So I think it's literally just pushing against the electric fence as much as humanly possible, waiting to get some kind of a reprimand. And because his party continues to be afraid of him for some reason that I still to this day can't fathom, especially as he is literally the least popular president ever since polling has been a thing. But they continue not to stand up to him. And I cannot understand why, unless they of course are, co-conspirators.
I think the most obvious, I think their reason for being afraid is very much an Occam's razor situation. I think the politicians that are afraid of him on his side are afraid of violence from the base. I think that's it. I mean, they've said as much. Like, quite literally, they've said as much. I mean, they've literally said,
except the problem is that all the violence that comes from their base seems to be against the most extreme wing of their party all the time.
Yeah, no. I think that they're afraid that if they push back on Trump, that they are going to have violence brought upon them. I don't think they give a fuck if violence happens to anyone else. I mean,
no. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that belief is not grounded in any kind of reality. Again, a right winger tried to kill. I know, but I'm saying, like, a right winger tried to kill Donald Trump. A right winger killed Charlie Kirk. Like it seems like that the more extreme things that happen, the right wing, some people on the right wing are just like, oh, like, this is bad news. Like, we got to fucking take care of this guy. Or they try to take a shot for whatever other reason. Who the fuck knows? And who really cares, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think when Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, they threatened her son and shit like that, I don't think that's bullshit. I think they probably did.
Yeah, I think it's 100% correct.
Yeah, so I think there's been a couple of congressmen who have been like, I kind of pushed against Trump, and then I started getting all these death threats. I think they're legitimately scared. And look, you took the job for a reason. And it's super easy for me to say because I live over here, and I don't mean in Mexico. I mean, I live on the side of not in Congress, and I'm not getting threatened every day. But I didn't take that job, right? Like, you have to take the job under the guise of you are a public figure and you are doing the people's work. You're going to get threats. Like, that's just
I'd be a lot more sympathetic to that argument if it wasn't for the fact that there are liberal Congress people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and stuff like that who get threats all the time.
Right. But that's exactly it. But
it still does the work. Yeah.
Right. But the difference is they're used to it. Republicans aren't used to it. Liberals are so dangerous. They're not getting threats they're not getting hundreds and thousands of threats from people being like, you better make sure Trader Joe stays open. Like, it's not happening, right? Like, they're not receiving messages like that. They're receiving it when they push back against Trump and he's like, oh, we're going to blow your fucking house up. Like, those people absolutely exist. Like, what is it? Josh Shapiro had the governor's house burned down, right, in Pennsylvania. Like, those people are getting threatened and things are really happening. The only people they ever hear from is when they push back against dear leader. And so they're fucking scared. And look, I get it because he's got a lot of rabid, crazy people, but you're there to do a job. You're there to do a job. And I hate to say that because, again, I seem like, well, you're not dealing with that. You're right, I'm not. I also didn't run for fucking office. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I also don't have legal insider trading. So, you get a couple of benefits while doing your job. Like, it is what it is. Pass a law that should totally be illegal, by the way. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not impressed by the idea of, like, we're scared, but I think it is a real factor. Like, I do. So
yeah, I just don't care. I mean,
no, agreed.
Quite frankly, I just don't. Agreed. Just fucking do your fucking job, and if you're not, then leave and get someone in there who will.
Exactly. That's exactly my. Don't stay there.
You're not entitled to a congressional seat. That's not how this fucking works. So.
Oh, There are a lot of people in Congress who would say, I disagree.
Yeah, I know. A lot of Democrats too that would say that I fucking disagree. How dare you run primaries against sitting Democrats? Fuck you. Yeah, we're gonna fucking run primaries against sitting Democrats.
All of you. Against all. Fuck you. All right, so let's get to it. We got plenty to talk about. Holy shit. So ICE kills a woman an innocent woman in Minneapolis 2 days ago, as they're recording of this. Look, I'll just say this as the only black person on this show. The fact that the U.S. government is killing a white mom who has, who by all accounts is a totally innocent fucking person. They're just shooting white ladies in the face. That should be a wake up call to everyone.
I was actually gonna say, like, coming on the show this week, like, sounds fucked up to say, like, because there's a lot of people out there who are like, well, the way that ICE has been treating, brown people, whether they're immigrants or not, or whether they, are U.S. citizens or not, like, you shouldn't be just getting upset about this now. Unfortunately, the world that we live in, the country that we live in, it does take a fucking white woman for something to happen for people to give a shit. It just does. I'm sorry.
It just does.
Yeah.
Heather Heyer is another one, right? When she got hit by the car during the Unite the Right fucking horseshit. That was horrible, right? And that's not me down. By the way, that's not me downplaying, and obviously you don't think so either. But like, that's not me downplaying the significance of her murder or the significance of other people being killed.
Right. There are just way too many people in this country that something has to happen to somebody that looks like them or is in their cohort, because again, that's what what is it? Institutional racism is that if it's happening to someone who you deem as being like below you in the caste structure or in the class hierarchy, then you're just not going to care as much.
Yeah, you don't give a shit. So so, like, to me, it was so funny. Not funny, but like when that story broke 2 days ago, Terrence, who's obviously in our network, messaged like a couple of us and was like, "Yo, they killed a white woman." Like, that's exactly like that's how the first thought is. Oh, they killed a woman. You're like, chances are brown, right? Like, just chances are more than likely. But the fact that this woman was white and this guy just shot her in the face, just shot her like 3 or 4 times. You have to understand the level of what the fuck is going on. And it's sad that has to be my first thought, but it is a very real thought. Taking race out of it for a second, though. There is obvious footage. I have seen this footage 1.5 million fucking times at this point. New York Times did a great breakdown, like freeze frame, like this is what's happening. This is where his feet are, yada, yada, yada. This is the wheels, the tires are turned this way, yada, yada. It is overwhelming evidence that this guy, this ICE agent, was not in imminent danger. He was not standing in front of this truck. He shot into it while someone is yelling, move, drive, get the fuck out of here. And the other guy's yanking on the door, which surely could be confusing to anyone, right? Like, if you're in the car in that moment, this guy just pulls out the gun and fires into the car, killing her. That is already horrendous on its face. The response is somehow 1,000 times fucking worse from the
well, and that's and I told you that, like, on Wednesday, that like this happening has like affected me more than I thought it would, because I assumed that this was that this was an inevitability. Like you have people
been talking about it for months.
You have people that you are giving minimal training to who are fucking like police and military washouts or not even good enough to make it into the low standards that the current police departments across this country have, and they're not even good enough to rise to that level. And these are the people that you are getting, I assume, have to be somewhat inherently racist to take a fucking job like this in the first place, number one. 100%. And you're sending them out with minimal training. You're giving them firearms. You're sending them out without identification. You're sending them out with being masked so that you can't even see the fucking face of the person you're talking to. Of course this was going to happen, but And when I said to you that like this is affecting me more than I thought it would, I came to realize it is because of the immediate and incessant gaslighting that the administration and other people on the right, again, like they didn't even wait for her body to be cold before they were trying to be like, oh, she's a paid protester, she's a domestic terrorist, like she's obviously a plant, like this, that, or the other thing. I mean, because that's
that
the only.
Didn't even see the video from her comments.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
It was because she hadn't even watched the video.
Right. And like and that's their immediate stance. Instead of taking a step back and realizing like, holy shit, like there might be a fucking problem here.
Yep.
They immediately, circled the wagons. Like that was the stance. And again, there's video of this. Like you can see it plain as day in the video. Go watch. I mean, I don't necessarily endorse going out and watching the video of, someone being fucking murdered at point blank range. I will say, at least in the video, you don't see her, which is good. But like, yeah, like go watch the situation here again. Like people and they released like the guy that shot her, like was recording this on his fucking phone as well. They released that footage today, thinking that it would somehow like absolve him. Just makes him look worse. Like, again, if someone I've seen several people make the point, like, if you're alleging someone's trying to run you down with their car, why would they be reversing and backing up from you?
Well, why would they be right? Because the relative closeness that he is to the car only happens because she's moving back. Like she's not this idea like she was charging them. She wasn't. She's literally backing up. It's just the turn of the car that came close to him, but he was not in harm's way. Right. The other aspect of this is that video that they released of like, I guess his camera footage or, like body cam or cell phone or whatever. What it shows is a woman who's not angry. She's not upset. Right. She's like, hey man, I'm not mad at you, bro. Like, she's totally copacetic, man. Like, there is nothing about her is like, fuck guys, fuck it. Like, you could make like the right wing argument, like, oh, look how angry she is, and this is angry liberal or whatever. This woman is, she's crazy. She's totally calm. She's not like fake calm, like, I'm ready to.
Yeah, certainly more calm than the guy with the gun.
Yeah.
Which seems like a big fucking problem.
Fucking calm. She's like, hey man, like, I'm not mad at you, bro. Like, she's talking to the other ICE agent or she's talking to the guy. She's not in a position mentally for what is about to happen 3 or 4 seconds later. Like, a lot of times you can look at those things and, whether it ends up going the way that you agree or not agree, or whether, the narrative goes where you agree or not. But the way in which people act right before those moments can be very telling. If she was like super angry, like, you guys are pieces of shit, and like, again, you can make the narrative like, yeah, she was ready to like make something happen. But she's not like that at all. She's talking calmer. It's like the Big Lebowski, like, calmer than you are, dude. Like, this guy's like, like, she's totally fucking cool. And so it begs the question of, why on earth would you see that footage? Not even that footage that came out today, but you see the other footage, and your immediate response is to call her a domestic terrorist or anything. You and I talked about this when it happened online. It was like, why don't you just fucking toss this guy to the wolves?
Yeah, like if you were smart, you would, because you would see this video, you'd be like, holy shit, this dude completely fucked up, and understand that protecting him does more damage to your overall
than letting him go.
Because now you have people who even like there are, I've seen online, and again, this is all anecdotal, so whatever, but like, I've seen online a slew of Trump supporters who are just like, this is fucked up. Like what the fuck are we doing here? Like what the fuck are we doing? And again, it's because you killed a white woman. Like, if that person had been around, I don't think they would have fucking gave it a shit. Yep. But like, again, like,
that woman was as dark as me, they would have been like, nope, absolutely not.
Right.
She did. 100%.
But you have people who ostensibly support what you're trying to do, being like, this is not the way, like, this is not what we signed up for, like, this is not the kind of thing that we want to back up. So yeah, if you're intelligent, you would absolutely take this guy, fucking throw him to the wolves, be like, sorry, like, yeah, you're on your own. And that way you could at least have the illusion of appearing to care about the things that your agents are doing and appearing to care about the mission that they're trying to carry out. And you could at least go out there and make the fucking argument that you see about cops all the time. Well, you know, one bad apple doesn't spoil the whole bunch, and this, that, and this, that, or the other things. But because this administration takes their cues from the king dipshit at the fucking top of the pile,
Bingo.
Who is incapable of ever admitting a mistake or fucking anything up or being able to take accountability or responsibility for things that he does wrong, because that is the stance and the tenor from the top all the way on down, you get the response that we got in the past couple of days, despite the fact that that response is untenable in the wake of the video that we see. They, like the New York Times, and which again, I'm here to slag off the New York Times all day, every day, but I'll give credit where it's due. Not only did they do a great like Zapruder, you know, film version breakdown of the whole incident, but also like they went and talked to Trump, and they were talking, and they asked him, they're like, what do you like? Do you think that like this guy, it was justified killing? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, this, that, or the other thing. And they're like, but the video doesn't show that at all. And he's like, well, he's like, that's not my understanding. And they showed him the video, like there.
He's not I guarantee you.
And he didn't. He's like, well, it's just terrible. It's a terrible. Like all of a sudden, like that's once in the right,
because he never saw it. He never saw it. That like that's the and that's the thing that drives me crazy is like in the face of actual evidence, that is the classic right wing response, which is like, I got a hard opinion. Well, have you seen it? I got a hard opinion. It's like, here's the thing. And they're like, well, it's just terrible. No, what happened to your hard opinion now? Because you and I both are watching the same thing standing right next to each other, right? It's different if you and I are watching the same thing and we're a million miles away on the internet. That's different. But if you and I are sitting there, it's like, bro, there's a box around where his feet are and it's to the left of the car. Come on, man. And you're like, well, it's a tragedy. I mean, I literally listened to a podcaster who I was watching his live last night, and the exact same thing happened. This guy's like, no, that woman, and they put up the video, the New York Times one, and it's like, bro, look at his feet. Like he's right. Oh, he got hit by a car. Like, bro, he's walking away. He did not get hit. Like what you're saying does not match the thing. And eventually he just was like, well, it's just a terrible situation. And it was the exact same thing. Faced with direct facts, they will never break, but they'll just go, let's agree to disagree. I'm not going to agree to disagree. I'm not blind. You're pretending.
Yeah, you're wrong. And I am correct.
Yeah, like, no, absolutely. No. One thing I will never cede is if I think not even I think I'm right, although that happens. But if I know I'm right, I'm not going to cede and like agree to disagree type of shit. Like except for with my wife, because come on, that's crazy. But I will not cede it. Like, no, this thing is A. Like, no, motherfucker, it's 1. I'm looking at it. Like, I'm not going to cede that. But that's what they do because they don't want to actually address being wrong. It's like, bro, this woman was killed. This is a policy you support. This is the thing we have been saying. By the way, this is one of 2 stories that liberals have been very much absolutely fucking correct on. Dude, I told you is we've been telling you for months that this was going to happen. And now ICE is like, well, we're going to be doing door-to-door raids. Okay.
Cool. So you want to be the literal Gestapo then. Good job.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, when you go door to door, you're going to eventually run across people with PTSD who are not going to like the police and shit, or military people at the door, and they're going to freak the fuck out and you're going to get shot. Just saying. Like, I'm already calling that now. Or by the way, again, like that's your problem. But at the same time, like, you're also going to end up going door to door to conservatives. And they don't like that shit either. Like they're like, no. Bully those people. don't come here. And when they do come there and there's a miscommunication or some shit's going to pop the fuck off. It's just inevitable. Again,
you reap what you sow, as they fucking say. So, and the thing that's really concerning to me is that here we are 2 days on, and you still have like Republican Congress people towing the message.
Yeah, the White House.
And again, like the message is not like, oh, you know, sometimes like these things happen. It's a regrettable situation. The message is you better obey ICE or you will be killed. Is literally the message that they are rolling out with.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
In the wake of this.
I'm sorry. Look, I know there are a lot of cities in the United States, but I don't recall any of them being called Mega City 1. Okay? This is not a fucking Judge Dredd situation where you're just like, well, no, I just made the decision, so I'm just going to murder people. That's not cool, man. And like people are like, well, she was a protester, paid protester, whatever. I'm sorry. What law is it that you get to just murder people for being paid protesters? Well, she's a professional. Again, what law allows you to just shoot into cars? There isn't one.
Actually, and that's the other thing about the whole situation. Like they're trying to make he feared for his life and he thought his life was in imminent danger. Assume it's true. Assume that she hit him with the car. Assume all that's true. That still doesn't justify his reaction, unloading 3 shots into her driver's window at point blank range. In fact, as many people have been pointing out, that directly violates the training that DHS provides to these people.
Yeah, you're not allowed to shoot into a moving vehicle. Like you're not. Like that's not a thing unless the moving vehicle is going to cause imminent harm to you or to others, right? Like if they were driving through a crowd of people, yeah, you can fire into a moving car. But one, you weren't standing in front of that car because they said you have to you have to use every tool you have to get out, like to make sure that you're not in harm's way when a car is going, right? Instead of firing into it, which includes moving out of the way, which again, if you watch the video, his feet are already to the side of the car. He's already out of the way. It's turning, the front of the car comes closer to him and then he fires in. But before it started moving, he was to the side of the car. He chose to do what he did. And again, she's being told 2 and 3 different fucking things by multiple fucking agents. Get the fuck out of here. Open the car door. Can you imagine 2 people in military costumes screaming?
You say cosplay. That's the right term for these assholes.
Two assholes in tactical outfits. One of them yelling at you to drive off, right? Because she's parked like perpendicular to traffic, right? One of them yelling for you to drive off to get out of the way of traffic. The other one yanking on your car door, trying to get into your car. I'm sorry. Which one of those things am I supposed to respond to? So she did the thing that I think 99% of people would do, which is trying to get the fuck out of there. The guy pulls a gun and fires into it. Okay, so again, what are we doing? And again, there is reality and then there's political reality. The reality is this guy should absolutely be prosecuted for what he did. This is murder. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, there's just no conversation. And I'm hoping that Minneapolis can charge him locally. That would be, I know they're working on it. The political reality is the Trump administration should have thrown him to the wolves immediately. I'd have been like, I saw the video. That's crazy, dog. Anyway, best of luck. Like, get the fuck out of here. Instead,
here's him in irons. Do what you will.
Right. Like, bro, I don't know. Instead, we get the comments from Kristi Noem, Donald Trump, JD Vance, and all that. But we get something that I thought was really fucking interesting. JD Vance he has his little bitch fest. He goes to the White House and he does this like press conference type of thing in front of the press. And he says that he has absolute immunity. No, he doesn't. Okay.
Not a thing.
Not a thing. Get the fuck. So what? ICE members have absolute immunity now? What are we talking about? That's insane. Oh, by the way, please let that be a thing because I would love for a scenario where Democrats can just create a police force and have absolute immunity. Cool. Let's go to Wall Street. Start rounding motherfuckers up. Like, let's start breaking jaws. Like, oh, well, nope. Sorry. I have absolute
immunity.
Absolute immunity. I just made this shit up. Right. So 1, that's bullshit. 2, Vance does something that I thought was pretty wild. He comes out and he's like, listen, maybe this guy was a little bit paranoid. I don't know if you heard this. Like, this is the wildest shit
I didn't hear this part.
He said that the guy previously, like a month ago, got dragged behind a car, like in some sort of situation, got dragged behind a car and had to get 30 stitches in his leg. So maybe that's why he's got like a little bit of PTSD from that. And maybe that's why he's a little bit more on edge. And I'm like, do you think that makes your case sound better or worse? So you have a guy who in the field got dragged by a car. I don't even know if that's true, right? Look, my gut tells me, sounds like a bunch of bullshit, but I'm going to take you at your word. You're going to tell me you had a guy who got pulled by a car down the street, had 30 stitches in his leg. He's got PTSD according to you. But your argument is that it was a good idea for the DHS to put him back in the field.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do that with soldiers, dude. If you have PTSD from an encounter in fucking Islamabad, they don't go, you good? Cool. Send you back out. No, bro, you got to go home. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's why I don't believe that story at all.
Shit. I mean, shit. It's with real police,
You're even worse.
Right. Like with real police, when they have any kind of incident like that, where they, have like some kind of major violence enacted against them, or they're involved in like a shooting or whatever, they have I'm pretty sure that every single department in this country has like mandatory psychiatric evaluations that the officer has to go through before they put them in the field, so that they don't go out and have like and do exactly what this guy fucking did.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And look, I know a lot of people were mad at they were mad at JD Vance for coming out and saying what he said. I wasn't. Not because of the context of what he said, but I am super tired of JD Vance hiding during all of this horrendous shit. I want JD Vance out front. I want JD Vance out front defending this shit. I want JD Vance to be like, that's right, this woman's a domestic terrorist. It is totally okay that she got shot. I think it's great. I think we need to stop calling it the Trump administration and we need to call it the Trump-Vance administration. Do not let this piece of shit hide, because what he'll do is when Trump is out of office, he'll go, I mean, I didn't agree with those things. But, as your next president, but nope, absolutely fucking not. Fuck that. Your stupid ass needs to be tied to all of the same dirty shit. So bring his ass out more often. I'm glad he came out there, because then people go, yeah, I don't like that fucking guy. Now I remember. And that's what, like, him hiding and being real quiet when all this other dirty shit happens, that's a benefit to him. No. To the front row, my guy. Come out here and defend the shit. Good. And look at the response to what he said. People are just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Good. That's what I want. I want people to be very much reminded that, yes, Trump sucks, but Vance also fucking sucks. And he may actually end up sucking even more. So it is best that we remember who the fuck he is. 100%. No, I'm glad he's out there. Dude, do more press conferences with your nasally, annoying prick voice and your dumb, punchable face. Your seventh name or whatever you have. No, I think it's great. Not a fan of him at all. All of that being said, let's move on. To Venezuela, Brad. We decided that
I would again, like in all of these instances, like anytime foreign policy, I always get the thought that like people that like, if there's people in your lives that have really strong opinions about what the Trump administration is doing in Venezuela, like for the good, I would almost dare you to like give them an unmarked map of Central and South America and be like, cool, point to Venezuela. Like just at least show me that you can identify where it is.
It's the really skinny one, right? Right? It's not. That's cheap. Yeah, so we decided we're going to do a late night attack on Venezuela, January 3rd, I believe it was, to ring in the fucking new year. Thought we'd make those people's lives miserable as fuck. And we went in and
Killed over 100 people, by the way.
Yep. A number of them being Cubans, interestingly enough. They kidnapped Nicolas Maduro and his wife. There was a time where people were like, can we get a proof of life? Like, did y'all kidnap him or did you like to throw this dude in the ocean? Turns out they did not throw him in the ocean. And now he has been arraigned in New York. And he seems fine. He's just like, thumbs up. They gave me a Nike tracksuit. Shit's dope. Nike Tech tracksuit. What are your thoughts on the implications of this?
I think it's pretty bad.
Shocking.
You know, I know, really go down the ledge here. So here's the problem, right? I'm almost happy that the real reason that we're doing this is the reason that we're doing this. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like the fact that we're going in for the oil, like, oh, this is the most normal thing that the Republican Trump administration has done while he's been in office. Like this is as fucking Republican as apple pie. Like this is normal. So like, I'm almost relieved that that's the actual reason, because the stated reason that they gave originally to justify this, and that they're still kind of standing behind somewhat,
right,
would have been a real problem had that been something that they've been saying with their actual chest, and had that been the real reason they're doing it. So the reason that they're saying that, hey, not only was this cool, but we didn't even have to talk to Congress about it first, that's how cool this was, is that they are claiming that because they had indicted Maduro on these whatever charge, like they're charging with, I guess, like drug trafficking and all this other shit. Not fentanyl, by the way, which is what Trump always said that he was trafficking into the country.
Funny that.
Yeah, whatever about that. But because that they had charged him, the operation, this ground operation that led to the death of 100 fucking people, was a law enforcement operation, and therefore it doesn't fall under the purview of needing congressional approval. Like to the point, like when this happened, like Mike Lee came out immediately and was like, I struggle to see what justification that the administration would have doing this without getting congressional approval. And then like 2 hours later, he was like, talk to Marco Rubio. Everything's cool. No problems here. Like we're all good. And the reason that using that stated rationale is a big fucking problem is that this fucking administration could then, if they had any world leader especially in the Western Hemisphere, apparently, which is a real big deal now all of a sudden, that was doing stuff that they didn't like or was giving them a hard time and they wanted to get them out of the way, could just trump up some sort of, no pun intended, could trump up some sort of indictment that they get, sandwiched through some kind of federal court, and then all of a sudden that gives them a predicate to go into the country, guns blazing, zip in fucking Fulton Recovery, the fucking current leader of the country, out of there and do whatever and then essentially seize control of the country, even though Republicans are trying to say that's not what they're doing. The problem is the president keeps saying that that's what they're fucking doing. So
yeah, look, there's a number of things to talk about here, but to your last point, apparently Trump just blurted that out, that Americans control the country. Like he just
he keeps saying it. So he talked to Hannity,
that was not an agreed thing with like his team. Like the
sure.
initial time he said it, he was just like,
of course,
we'll just control the country, and they were just like, yeah, we can totally do that.
Quoting him as recently as yesterday when he talked to Sean Hannity, quote, "That was a perfect attack. We've taken over a whole country. We've taken $4 billion of oil in one day. That will increase." That is a direct quote from him on Air Force One, coming back from wherever he was, coming back from Mar-a-Lago, in the wake of this attack, when reporters were talking to him. They're like, hey, you kind of kidnapped this guy. And he's like, yeah, that's the word I would use too. He's like, that's probably a good word to describe what we fucking did.
Jesus.
Like he's out here just saying like say whatever he fucking wants, which is very funny that it completely undermines what all the other Republicans are trying to say. Like they're trying to be like, no, like this is a policing thing, and we needed to go get him because we needed to charge him and the other thing. You know, it's the oil. I've been telling you guys forever. I've literally been saying for years. Like the big thing that the Bush administration fucked up with Afghanistan and Iraq is that they didn't keep the oil. If we go to Venezuela, we're going to keep the oil, and we're going to do this, that, or the other thing. As you mentioned earlier, they fucking tipped off. They couldn't tell Congress, but they sure did tell the oil companies. Hey, by the way, like we're going to get, we're going to get the fucking oil. Business is about to open up in Venezuela. They're sitting there, like the administration is trying to sit there, basically dictate who's going to run the country now, which is very funny because for all the talk about, oh, we need to get the Maduro regime out of there, they seem to be totally cool with his vice president being in charge now.
Yeah. Delcy Rodriguez. And like, it's hilarious. Okay. So there's a couple of things here that are just unbelievably dumb. So Delcy Rodriguez was his vice president. She is now in charge. And she's out there saying like, Maduro is the rightful leader of Venezuela. It's a bit of a problem narratively for the United States. The other thing is Machado, the woman who won the Nobel Prize, and we'll get to you fucking giant cuck. She was like, hey, I'm ready to lead. And they were like, Trump's like, you're a girl, so no. And basically because the report came out that because she accepted the Nobel Prize, Trump was like, how fucking dare you?
Well, don't worry, Jay, because she's coming to meet with him. She's coming to meet with him this week, and I'm pretty sure she's going to try to hand it off to him, which I'm sure he will accept with all of the pomp and circumstance that he can. Maybe they'll even have a little ceremony where she can present it to him. It'll go nicely with his FIFA World Peace Prize that he won recently.
I love that he literally is going to steal a Nobel Peace Prize. He's just going to steal.
But that's the thing. In ceremony only, because it's not like the Nobel fucking Foundation is like, we're going to change who won. It's literally a participation trophy. It would literally be the equivalent of like knowing a guy who won the Super Bowl. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to give you my Super Bowl ring. And then you walk around calling yourself a Super Bowl champion. Like that. That's literally the equivalent that we're talking about here.
So fucking lame, dude. You're so lame. It's amazing.
It is such unbelievable loser behavior that, like, again, it boggles my mind as to how these people who ostensibly are just like, oh, we love real men. We love real fucking powerful people, real men of action, that don't understand that this is fucking loser behavior that they would be mocking somebody else for if it wasn't Donald Trump.
Right. And by the way, I don't ever want to hear anyone say anything about Barack Obama won a Nobel Prize and he didn't even do anything. Like, spoiler alert, they gave him the Nobel Prize because they were like, please don't attack Iran. Please don't attack Iran. Please don't attack Iran. He's like, I'm not going to attack Iran. They were like, thank you. Like, just give it to him. Like, they don't need a world war. Right? But Trump always got mad that Barack Obama got the prize. By the way, he didn't campaign for it. He wasn't like, I should get it or anything like that. But he, at least, the reason he has one is because of his actions or lack thereof, right? Trump's getting one for no reason, but because this woman is hoping that if he gets it from her, that he'll be like, she should be in power. By the way, I have a spoiler.
She's probably right.
No, here's the thing. She's not going to be. He's going to take that.
Oh, you don't think so?
And the second she gets back, he's going to be like, I think it should be this dude. Like, I guarantee it. He's not going to push for it because he
Delcy Rodriguez is a woman.
No, I know. I know. But he don't want her there either. Like, he doesn't want her there either, right? Like, sure. That's what I'm saying. Like, when that all came about, when they took Maduro and then they were like, oh, we can work with her. And then she came out, she was like, Maduro is the true leader of Venezuela. They were like, all right, we got to find someone else. Like immediately they soured on her. No, he doesn't want a woman in that position because he doesn't respect women fundamentally. And he's definitely not going to be the guy who backs a woman to be president. No. Look at all the women who are bailing in his own party. He doesn't respect them. It took them a while and a couple of fucking, hits across the fucking top of their head before they figured the shit out. But
you go. That's the solution. If he really wants to make good, he should make Elise Stefanik the president of Venezuela. That's what we should be doing.
Think about Marjorie Taylor Greene could be the president. But instead, the name that's being floated is Stephen Miller to be the viceroy of because that's what it is.
That's a cool term that we don't use nearly enough anymore.
Yeah. It is. He would be the viceroy of Venezuela, right? And look, I support it. I actually support it. Why?
Can they keep him?
Right. Just go there. Like, I think you should go there. I don't think you should lead Venezuela from DC. I think that doesn't really show your power. I think you need to go, you and your wife, who I support both of you. I'll pay for the tickets. I support both of you moving there. And I'm sure nothing's going to happen to you. You can go outside. No, they're not going to do nothing to you. 2 fucking invaders from this crazy regime, this Trump Vance administration. I'm sure they'll be kind to you. I'm sure. Please go. Just go for a visit. Nothing's going to happen to you. You don't even need security. They're going to greet you as liberators. Just go. Just please. The idea of saying that someone in your administration, a white man of all people, who hates immigrants, is going to run this Latin country, bro, they will burn him alive the second he lands in that country. They're like, oh, is that him? Cool, grab him. Let's start a tire fire and throw him and his dumb wife in it. Which, by the way, who am I to say? I think they should lean further into this shit. Don't give us any sense that you guys are reasonable. Just lean into all your imperialistic bullshit. And then that way, when all is said and done, there is no question about when shit happens to you, why it happened to you, right? Because now there's talk about, to go on to the next story, that they're going to do land attacks in Mexico against the cartels. Donald Trump has protection. But do all the people who work for Donald Trump have protection? Do you think that everybody who works for the cartels looks like a Mexican dude, like making cocaine in the forest? They don't. Do you know how much money and weaponry that those guys have and how much reach they have globally? Like, cartels are not to be fucked with, dude. Like, they're not. Like, yeah, you took down Maduro because he's the president. And by the way, they said the cartel that he was running, now the FBI is like that, or the CIA is like, that didn't exist. Like, yeah, we know. You fucking made it up. No shit. But if you want to go in and like mess with like the Sonora cartel and shit like that, look, man, I don't want to be the one to give some bad news, but they'll kill your kids. Okay, like they will, dude. Like, you don't have enough protection to protect all of your people. You think Kristi Noem has enough protection not to get popped by somebody in the cartel? I don't think so. You think Stephen Miller does? I don't think so. Donald Trump might. Maybe. Like, if you think fucking with cartels is a good idea, look, more power to you. Like, Micah and I were talking about that, and he was like, I think Donald Trump thinks that the cartels are like out of TV shows like now. He's like, instead, they need to realize that the cartels are like the cartels in 80s movies. Like, they're not fucking around, dude. They'll pull your tongue through your neck. Are you kidding me? Like, these are not people to fuck with. They have basically unlimited resources. They have international reach. Okay, man. Like, by all means, go ahead and write that check and see if your ass can cash it. Because I'm not so sure that you will. I think you will see people die in the streets associated with you. Absolutely. But Scheinbaum is like, we can work together against the cartels. I do not recommend going and doing, like attacks on them directly. I do not recommend it. Okay, man. I don't want to live in a war zone.
That's okay. It's okay though, Jay, because we're about to have $1.5 trillion military budget next year, so that'll be great.
I saw that. That's insane. It's what, $500 billion now?
No, it's $1 trillion today.
Billion, right? They want to increase it by 50.
Yeah, he would be increasing it by another $500 billion because of all the imperialism he wants to do. You see.
So we're going to capture Greenland. We're going to take on cartels in Mexico. We're going to run Venezuela. By the way, there's a power vacuum that's happening in Venezuela. I don't know if you've seen this.
Of course.
They've got people in the streets, mass AK-47s. Like, these people are not government officials. You're creating a situation that is very similar to Iraq, very similar to Afghanistan. Are we going to learn our lesson this time? Doesn't appear so.
Nope.
Cool.
But and after we get done with Venezuela, he's talking about Colombia. He doesn't care for them very much right now. Of course, like Marco Rubio would like fucking jerks off to taking over Cuba every single fucking night. Like, he would absolutely love that. So
I mean, the Venezuela shit is really about Cuba, if we're being honest, because Cuba gets their oil and their energy from Venezuela. Shutting down that pipeline of supplies will crush the Cuban regime. Like, it just will. By the way, they captured another oil tanker today. I don't know if you saw that. I just read that in Reuters.
No, I didn't.
That's the fifth one. I didn't even know about the other three. Right? Like, I knew about the first one. We haven't heard anything about the other three in mainstream media, and now this is the fifth one. So,
I must talk. I had a salvo prepared to yell at some Democrats. I'm still going to do it, even though they did a good thing today, or yesterday. I can't remember if it was today. I think it was yesterday, actually. But in the response to this, okay, so again, like, I can't understate this enough. When the president does something blatantly illegal.
No, it's legal. Nixon said that. It's legal.
Yeah, the president does it. Duh. When the president violates the Constitution pretty blatantly by carrying out a strike against a foreign country that you did not go to Congress to get approval for. When that happens, it really doesn't matter which country it was, who the leader of that country is, the reason that we're doing it or not doing it, whatever the case, like, that really doesn't matter. All you need to come out and do is say, hey, president broke the law. We need to impeach the president. And there were some Democrats that did that. And then there's some Democrats that are like, now, Nicolas Maduro was a bad guy. And we're super happy that he's no longer going to be in charge of Venezuela. But ... and going on from there. And then, like, they were asking Chuck Schumer about impeachment, which is a little silly because Chuck Schumer doesn't have anything to do with impeachment per se. But Chuck Schumer's response was, let's hope it doesn't get to that. What?
No.
I'm sorry. Like,
no, let us hope.
The law done been broken, Chuck.
Yeah, go to work.
Yeah, like it's, you can't unring the bell. You can't be like, oh, like, well, I know he really did something bad, but I really hope that the House doesn't see fit to impeach him. Like, no, dude, like, you're like, no, the president fucking blatantly violated the Constitution. He should be impeached for that. Yes, 100%.
Right, like,
what are we doing here?
Talking about, yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I think there's like this weird fear of, hey, we should probably make sure that we don't start impeaching like crazy, like over everything, because then it loses its value. Disagree. Fuck that. Every time this guy breaks a law, bring his ass up on charges.
Yeah, I would argue maybe the president should stop breaking the law.
Yeah,
and then maybe you don't fucking have to worry about impeaching. Like,
right. It's like that weird right-wing argument, like, why do these judges around the country keep trying to stop and blocking all of these things that the president's doing? It's unprecedented. It's because he's breaking laws. That's unprecedented. Like, that's the part. You're skipping over A to go to B. Like, don't talk about the conclusion. Talk about the reasons for why these judges are there. Because the judges don't do that on every Republican, dude. They're only doing it to him. And it's not because they don't like him because he's got a cool hair and they don't. It's because he's breaking the law more. Like, how do you not? They understand that they're pretending to be it.
But I was saying, but you're basically giving him credit for breaking the law a lot. It's like he has a fucking punch card. Like, once you do 9 congressional violations or constitutional violations, the 10th one's free. It's on.
Right. This is not an ice cream parlor or a bagel
do whatever you want. So again, like this mealy mouth, like couching of.
Just a side note, I'm not cool with the Einstein bagels of U.S. government. Actions. Get out of here.
So again, like when you come out and talk about this shit, you don't have to couch it, in like, well, it's great that Maduro's gone, but like, no, like, stop it. Like it shouldn't fucking matter if you have principles to stand on. And look, he's scared about it. Like he went in front of House Republicans and basically and was like, if you guys don't win the midterms, they're going to impeach me.
Please save me.
Like, yeah.
Like, no, motherfucker, you're
yes, that's absolutely going to happen. Now, again, credit where it's due.
You're already the most impeached president of all time, and that's only 2. We can make it 3. Look, I can run down like at least 3 or 4 more things you've done that are grounds for impeachment. He, at this point, if we had a functioning Congress, he would have at least been impeached. Maybe not removed, but he would have at least been impeached 5 or 6 times at this point. Just in this administration. I'm not even counting the 2 in his previous.
Just with the Venezuela thing, because also impeachable is having, like, controlling the money that's coming from whatever proceeds that you're making selling this oil. Like,
bro. Can we pause on that?
Sure.
I
absolutely.
don't know if you've heard this story.
Yeah.
I was flabbergasted at this news. This is the most insane shit I've ever heard. So I'm glad you brought that up because I totally forgot about that. Trump said that the money, because they're going to get like 30 million barrels of oil, right? Mm-hmm. And that would be about $3 to $4 billion of money that would be generated. I'm dubious of that because like that's not how the oil markets work, but whatever. Like,
hey,
I feel
to interrupt you real quick. Like, I love that oil companies are going along with this because I asked you and Andy, it's like, I was like, is it good to all of a sudden like inject a massive amount of supply into a down market? Is that a good economic thing to do or a bad economic thing to do?
No one can truly know until
who can say?
Oh no, it only made me $5. So his idea is like, look, when we sell this oil, which again, hitting X for doubt, when we sell this oil and we get all this money, the $3 to $4 billion, I'm going to put this quote in an offshore account and I will control it. I'm like, how do you not hear that this nigga is going to steal this money? Like, this is insane. You're not going to put it in the American Treasury? No. This is in an offshore account that only I control. I'm like,
yeah, this is my special Venezuela oil slush fund.
What the fuck are we talking?
We're gonna use it to rebuild Venezuela.
Like,
sure you are.
Bro, I'm like, come on, man. When I thought that was a joke. Now it's like, is it April 1st? Like, that's a joke. No president would say that out loud. No criminal would be so brazen to let you know that I'm totally going to steal this money. Meanwhile, his supporters are like, he's doing a great job. I'm like, read anything, dude. Read anything. Read anything, for the love of God. I could not believe that fucking stuff.
Yeah. So for those not familiar with the Constitution, the executive branch can't be like, just give me the money and we'll do whatever we want with it. Doesn't fucking work that way. Literally any money that the executive branch uses for anything has to come from the Treasury. That's the law.
Yeah, I mean, it says you.
Yeah, well, it says me in this, archaic document that is literally the foundation of the country. But okay.
Well, as we found out earlier this week, JD Vance says that the War Powers Act is fake and unconstitutional. Fake. I'm sorry.
Right.
What the fuck
doesn't exist?
No, they made it up in 1973. What the fuck?
Right. So there's the credit that I have to give to Democrats, because they not only did this, but they also brought 5 Republicans along with them to pass this in the Senate, which is basically like, people are like, oh, like this bars Trump from doing anything else in Venezuela. I look at it more as a reminder to Donald Trump that, like, hey, you need to come to us first if you want to do anything in Venezuela. That's the law.
And JD Vance said that Democrats and Republican presidents both agree that this is like bullshit. I'm like, no, they don't. Like, who is we, bro? Like, who the fuck are you talking? Which Democratic president's like, yeah, no, absolutely. Like, who? Barack Obama believes that, the constitutional lawyer? I don't think so. Joe Biden believes that? No, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's nonsense. You could say, oh, well, Joe Biden gave money to, Israel and to Ukraine. Yeah, they didn't put American boots on the ground. Like, that's the difference. Like, you can pay for you can fund those things if you want, but actually going to war or having a military action, yeah, you need to follow the War Powers Act. It's not that difficult to understand. And by the way, I personally think that, I mean, they both went, as I think about it, they both went to Congress anyway, because they control the purse. They didn't just like, Barack Obama didn't grab money off of an offshore account and was like, I'm giving this to Ukraine. That's not how that worked. So, it's nonsense. Just utter nonsense.
I mean, again, like if you're going to blow smoke up our ass, like, at least, like, I would appreciate it if the Trump administration would at least, like, try to somehow retrofit the AUMF that they used to justify going into the Middle East, and that has still somehow been in effect for fucking 23 years at this point. Right. At least humor me by trying to link this to that somehow. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like you would absolutely have Republicans that would go along for the ride on that one. So, like, just, like, lie to me a little bit, please. Like at least make the effort to make it look like you're trying to do something. No, we're just gonna fucking do a fucking
like an end
imperialism. Yeah. Not even an end around. An end around would be them acknowledging that this is a thing, but we're going around it. They're just like, fuck you. Like, we're just gonna go in and do whatever we want.
Yeah.
This is the Ron Swanson military invasion. The don't worry, I have a permit. This just says I can do anything that I
want. Walking onto the international stage, I know more than you. Like, all right, no problem. Yeah, it's insane. Trump administration mulls payments to sway Greenlanders to join the U.S. I found this to be absurd, to say the least.
Right.
There is 5? How many people live in this place? 5. Like 50,000 people, I think, live in
It's not a lot. Yeah, 57,000 is
57,000, right?
Yeah.
So while the exact dollar figure and logistics of any payment are unclear, U.S. officials, including the White House aides, have discussed figures ranging from $10,000 to $100,000 per person, said 2 sources who requested anonymity to discuss internal deliberations. We have starving people in the U.S. If they gave between 10
but here's the problem, though, Jay, is that I would assume that the people of Greenland, being as it's a very frigid climate and, it's mostly fucking ice there, it's very cold, are probably wearing, like, snow boots. Like you're talking skin color here, Jay. I think that's really offensive.
Wow, okay.
They have probably like snow boots and like moccasins and stuff like that. You know what those kind of shoes don't have? Galoshes, even, possibly. You know what I mean? Like there's all sorts of stuff. You know what those shoes don't have, Jay?
Gore-Tex?
Those shoes don't have bootstraps. The people of Greenland cannot pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. They have no bootstraps with which to pull themselves up by. So we need to help them financially in order to bring them on board. Whereas the hungry people in America, They have bootstraps that they just need to tug on to uplift themselves out of poverty and into a penthouse.
There's no poverty. There's no affordability crisis.
Oh,
made up by Democrats. Made up by Democrats. They, on the same day they made that up, they made up the Epstein Files situation and the War Powers Act.
I mean, in fairness to me, I did just receive my George Soros check today, so that's why I have to reiterate these talking points. So that's what's going on here. I'm just being open and upfront and honest with you about these things. Again,
they take a bit of time to get here. Like the mail system is not that great. So
right. I would assume that most of this money that Trump wants to buy the country of Greenland with the citizens would be used to purchase bootstraps that they themselves can now lift themselves up with, because we won't be supporting them in any way, shape, or form once they're in the American ecosystem. Yeah, once you're in, like that, like the invite to the party is all you get for free. Everything else you have to do it by yourself.
I mean, obviously. My thing is this: we have the money to potentially give 57,000 people almost $100,000 a piece. That's $5.7 billion.
Mm-hmm.
We got the money for this? I thought we didn't have the money for anything. Like all the cuts that they're doing for all this other shit.
You just gotta carve it out of Medicaid a little bit more, baby.
That's true.
Do all these sick children need health care? All of them? No, I don't think so.
Well, the way measles is going, there won't be as many anyway.
Right.
Probably like, we're really solving one problem and creating another. It's not that big of a deal. But the idea of we're either going to spend $57 or $570 million or $5.7 billion, somewhere in that range, to pay these people in Greenland is super odd. The other part of that is, this is how you know that you have a fucking idiot as president. This is not a real estate deal. This is a sovereign nation. I can't just give money to citizens and be like, come aboard. Like, that's not how it works. Denmark is like,
to be
thanks
fair,
for the money.
To be fair, it's technically not a sovereign nation.
Yes,
it is controlled and operated by Denmark.
Yes, but
Denmark is a sovereign nation.
Yes, Denmark is a sovereign nation. But my thing is, it's still not. You can't just give money to the citizens of whatever nation and be like, just come with us. Like that's not how that works. Like that's bullshit. So again, that's how you know he's an idiot and like such a real estate minded person. Like, well, if I just give this person enough money, they'll sell me their house. Shouldn't you be offering the $5.7 billion to Denmark, not to the people in Greenland? If you're trying to buy it, by the way. And by the way, if I'm Denmark, there is no price. Because even if you said,
they said that.
Yeah, of course they did. But like, even if you said, we'll give you $100 billion, I'd be like, suck my dick. Because I'm not going to just give you territory just because you want it. Like, no, there is no price. Get out of here. By the way, the Danish military has been told, I sent this to you, I think. The Danish military has been told, shoot first, ask questions later. That's the quote when it comes to the American invasion of Greenland. Like, they're not playing around, dude. Like, I would build up the military there right now. Right now. We're not that far. Like, the U.S. is not that far from Greenland. We could get there very quickly if we needed to. Denmark, you need to start sending motherfuckers over there. Like, I'm not saying that you're going to get into a firefight or whatever. I don't want that to happen. But you need to show presence that you're not playing around. That's all you need to do, to show presence. And here's the thing. We're really going to go to fucking war with fucking Denmark over this? By the way, destroy NATO.
Not Denmark, with NATO. Like yeah. I don't think the other European countries would be like, sucks to be you, Denmark. Like, it looks like you're fending in this one on your own.
But they can't. Yeah. They literally can't.
No.
And look, if that means the destruction of NATO, then so be it. Because I fundamentally do not agree, even though I am an American citizen, I fundamentally do not agree with America just taking properties like it's a game of fucking Monopoly, right? Or Risk. You know, I'm just going to grab this country just because it's in my sphere of influence. Fuck off. Because, by the way, what are you telling Russia and China? That if a country is near you and you're like, I'm bigger than them, just take them.
No, but Jay, what you don't understand is that they're in the Western Hemisphere, so we own them by proxy. We control the entire Western Hemisphere. Didn't you know that? I mean, again, news to me. I just found that out this week, but apparently, yeah, apparently whatever the U.S. wants in the Western Hemisphere, whatever we say goes. That's the new fucking line that's being rolled out by Republicans. Is that somehow we're entitled to it because of geography?
Right. We're the hegemon. So it is what it is. I find it insane that Trump is saying all this, we're going to do potentially military actions there in Greenland and all this other shit. Meanwhile, out of the other side of his dumb fuck mouth, he's like, we got to fix this Ukraine, Russia thing. I'm like, you're Russia in this, right? Right. This is what Russia did. Was said, oh, well, there's Nazis in Ukraine, and they made up all this other bullshit, and then they were like, oh, now we got to slide on in there and fix the problem. That's what you're doing.
I did really enjoy a couple of the Republican Congress people going on TV trying to shame Denmark for owning Greenland, they're the ones doing imperialism. The U.S. has never done imperialism. I'm like, it's that's an interesting thing to say, is things like Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands and Guam and Hawaii and the Philippines, all of these things existed at one point in time.
What are you bro? Yes, Puerto Rico is an obvious one. Yes, Guam is an obvious one. Bro, your boy owned an island in the Virgin Islands. That's where your friend is from. That's where the Epstein Island is. It's in the Virgin Islands. Don't act like you don't know that. Come on, man. So,
Hawaii's a state now. It wasn't always.
It wasn't, bro. It used to be the Kingdom of Hawaii, and they were just yoink. So this again, this is all feels like you want to make your stamp before you go, right? I want to expand Greenland. So okay, Greenland is what becomes a protectorate of the United States, or becomes a state, right? What is the logic here?
Who cares? Just as long as it's flying an American fucking flag. That's all that they.
But you know what I mean? Hey, why don't you guys make DC a state? No.
And you know what's funny? You know what the funniest thing is about the whole Greenland thing? So I know he's talked about we have to control it because of they have rare minerals that are there, or it's protecting our eastern flank because this big fucking landmass, as if people are going to fucking invade the U.S. through Greenland, through Canada, and come through that way, right?
Well, that's why you have to take over Canada as well,
right? Okay, well and then you do the old pincer move, but you have to know the only reason that he wants Greenland is because of how big it is.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
That's it. Just because of how large the landmass is, that makes it up.
Yeah,
I mean, fuck the fact that you can't do fuck all with 90% of it.
I thank you for making that point, because Shane Gillis made this point. The comedian Shane Gillis made this point a while ago. He was like the whole Viking thing. They called Iceland and Greenland, but they were really kind of the opposite, right? Iceland's actually quite nice to live in, and Greenland is not. It's fucking a giant ice cube and it sucks. He was like, is it possible that the Viking trick worked these many 100 years later on our dumb fucking president? Yes, I think it is. He's like, it's green and it's big. There's so much green. We could just maybe it could be a giant golf course. Sure, Donald. Have you been there? No. Shut up. I think the sheer size of it, looking at a map, he's like, Dad, look at that.
It's 1000% the thing that's driving the impetus behind this.
Right. Well, and the rare earth minerals, right? But that's not a Trump thing. That's his handlers.
That's a Trump's friends thing. That they want. Just give us the mining rights. Okay, cool. No problem.
It's fuck yeah. Okay, that's the end of the free portion for this week's episode of Look Forward. Make sure you go to lookforwardshow.com/premium. Sign up for premium content. It's only $5 a month or $50 for the full year.